There we go. Welcome everybody to another session of the Hik-League. My name is Evan. I'm very excited to let you all know about a very new feature in Hikvision. If you want to know a bit more about it, about the Guanlan features and about the large-scale AI model, please visit our website. There's a lot of information about this, and I'm going to try and break it down into different categories. There's multiple different verticals in this, and I'm hoping that everybody can hear me. I'm not sure about my sound options here. Just want to make sure that everything is fine. There we go. Everything is fine. So there's multiple different scales itself. I'm sharing this slide with you guys just to show you our website. Please obviously follow the e-learning platform as well for your learning. And then this feature about Guanlan, just to let you know, this is a philosopher that Chinese philosopher that focused on understanding how these features work. So in the book of Accus, he's focusing on to understand the natural movements of the waves. You first need to focus on the waves itself and how they move. So it's a very traditional saying in the Chinese culture, and we are a Chinese company. So, but I'm South African though, just letting you know, I'm not Chinese. But anyway, moving forward. So please go and have a look. There's a lot of information about this, and there's a lot of verticals in this. So a different category. For this category today, in the Guanlan section, we're only going to focus on perimeter protection. There are other layers, but I'm going to get into that just now. So let me share that part of my screen with you guys so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So starting off with first changing my view, right? Welcome to the Hikvision Guanlan large-scale AI solution. And I'm going to break it down for you guys to explain a little bit more about this. So give me a second. So first of all, what is this large-scale AI model of Guanlan? So to break it down in a very simple way, a lot of you might be familiar with ChatGPT and how we make use of it, how the AI engine can assist us with multiple different things. So focusing on those categories itself, ChatGPT, yes, it's an overseas product. It's mostly based from America, but DeepSync is a Chinese version, which I'm sure a lot of you might be familiar. It's more open, it's more free. There's a lot more features that we have in that. But just like any other type of AI using these type of features, especially like what you might be familiar with on your WhatsApp, you can go onto your AI and ask it to create a picture for you. You can ask it multiple things and create multiple different ways. So understanding those large scale models itself, using the AI features, we've obviously embedded that into our technology. But let's break down our technology first of all. In our technology, and it's not changing the page, it's buffering. Yeah, it's buffering. Okay, just give it a second to go to the next page. Yeah, I was hoping that this computer would not start with this type of things, but it is doing that. So it is what it is. So starting off with a large scale, I'm just waiting for the page to turn. Come on. These technical issues do happen. So it doesn't go, and I can't see the next page, but if I'm not mistaken, the next page will focus on the history of our AI, but for whatever reason, it's not going to that next page. It's just buffering on my side. Yep, it's buffering. There we go. My apologies for this technical issue. Let me just restart this PPT, and then we can get back into that. Not restarting. Okay, so there we go. Let me just reopen it. My apologies. These things do happen. Sometimes the information of these PPT slides are way too big and they get a little bit stuck. So these things do happen. There we go. And there we go. Hopefully all of you can see that now. Let me just make sure that I'm still sharing the right screen. Yes, I am. So let's go back to that page. There we go, moving forward. There we go. So Where was I? So starting off with the Hik-Vision AI features. So a lot of you are familiar with the learning algorithm that we had before back in 2006. In 2006, we started using those type of things for ANPR cameras, for motion detection, and etc. That algorithm had to grow a little bit more. And then we get into 2012. In 2012, we focused a little bit more depth into that deep learning program itself. That was our layer 2 section itself. And then in 2018, we focused on new AI features in that range for urban cities, say city traffic controls. And there's so much more that we have in the AccuSense and those type of features for facial recognition, thermal cameras, and etc. But between 2021 and 2024, we obviously focus more on the deep learning algorithm, and we focus on that large scale itself of AI. So taking that deep sync AI features and embed it into our deep learning algorithm system, we've created with a lot more AI. And this is where Guanlan comes in, understanding those type of features and what the AI can do for us. So as I mentioned, this is to understand the natural movements of water. One must first understand the waves. So this is the large scale that we work on. So in that embedded itself, in technology, we focus, obviously, and I just want to get my laser out here, in the past, focusing on taking that data information, creating new algorithms, which means that we had to take like 50,000 pictures and 50,000 videos just in order to do that, to learn a new AI in order for our cameras and our technology to be able to identify something or an object in the field of view, what it sees. So knowing all that kind of information, we've obviously upgraded with this new AI using these features of the DeepSeek environment. And with that, we've won awards. We're up to a level 5 rating on the CAICT certification, where we've got that level rating where it's top of the range when it comes to AI technology and surveillance and security. So definitely please keep an eye on this moving forward, just to understand that, as I mentioned, there's a lot of verticals in this. There's a lot of different higher scale itself. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. We're only going to focus on perimeter protection, but letting you know that that scale is obviously anything to do with visible light, infrared light, your text over the cameras itself, audio, millimeter wave, which is one of the most amazing technology in what we've got now for security inspection and etc. I think that this is the new generation of the direction of what we are going, that it's not harmful like X-ray would be, but obviously X-ray is still needed, and then obviously optic fiber and so on. There are so many different categories that we can focus on, but for now, I'm only going to focus on the perimeter protection. But letting you know also, in that perimeter protection, we need to understand different vertical levels. Starting off with, if you're familiar with Hik-Vision cameras, the first generation cameras that we had motion detection 1.0. In that 1.0, it was all those red blocks and etc. identified, and there was a lot of false alarms, we know. And then we have motion detection 2.0, where it's green blocks, where it focuses on the shape, the smart shapes of the objects itself in the image. That will be human and vehicle. But there are two different categories after that, right? The first one is obviously your VCA. VCA is something that tells you what has happened, using that video content analysis to let you know what has happened in that scene. So there's a big difference between VCA when it comes to where we are detecting certain things and DORI. DORI focuses more about the detection, the observation, the recognizing, and the identification. So there's different categories itself. VCA is what we focus on, accuracy. We want that accuracy itself. But VCA also tells us what has happened, where AccuSense tells us what's going to happen using those type of features. But now with a large scale model itself on AI, we have a 99% reduce on false alarms. Meaning if you've got the right equipment, you've got the right things, you're not going to have any problems whatsoever. It's still going to notify you when there's a real problem. That's it. So helping you a lot more. So there's different levels. So in those levels, there's multiple things. There's different new AI features. In those new AI features, we focus on different ways that we can make use of it. And there goes my PPT again, crashing on me. I'm waiting for it now to go to the next page. Please just go to the next page. Be nice and kind to me today. I was really hoping that things don't go this way, but these things do happen. Technology is technology. Maybe I need to have a proper recording station computer, isn't it? Who's going to send them email? I'm joking. Let me close this and reopen it again because I know this is going to take some time. There we go. It's buffering. It's now telling me it's going to restart, close the program. These things are frustrating. Wish there was a better way, but anyhow. So let's try and open this again for the third time. Well, technically speaking, today it's been multiple times. So there we go. Share that. Okay, let's go down that rabbit hole. Maybe I should just close it first, go to the correct page, and then open up that page. Maybe that could help my situation better. Let's see. There we go. And display. Yes, that worked. All right. So moving forward, just to let you know regarding those different large-scale AI models. So in the first group itself, we focus on I'm going to use my mouse here, so I'm sorry that it's small, but facial recognition and PPE itself, people counting, so perimeter protection and all those things do play a big role. And then in the second category itself, we focus on security when it comes to environment itself. So for certain events in certain business areas, detecting if somebody's using their phone, if they're not allowed to, maybe somebody is absent from their desk, maybe somebody is sleeping at their desk or on duty, maybe there's a number of exception people. So maybe a specific desk area, there can't be more than 3 people. So which means you are chit-chatting and not working. It's a safety hazard maybe, etc. Maybe the person is off-site. Maybe they're not there anymore, whatever the situation. So there's so many different ways that we can make use of this. Then we get into our second category, our third category, which will be gun detections itself. I'm trying to look at both monitors, trying to use my mouse. Gun detection, maybe somebody's smoking or they're on the phone when they're not allowed to. Certain sensitive areas, you're not allowed to be on a mobile phone. So this AI will notify the management or the control room that somebody's there. Obviously, our perimeter protection as per usual, and also like our fire escape, and maybe our fire and smoke detection. So there's quite a lot of AI in that for emergency services. And then for street behavior itself, maybe it's not just street, we just say it's street, but you can use it maybe at a school. Maybe somebody's running down a passage in a school area, you're not allowed to. Maybe somebody fall down. Notify, that could be a problem because now the child at the school falls down. They don't let the teachers know. They get home and the mother is thinking, what is happening at this school? So again, these type of solutions. Maybe somebody is having a little bit of, they don't know what we know kind of situation. So maybe somebody is fighting. Who knows? So there's so many different ways that we can make use of. We say it's street, but you can use it in so many different other areas. I won't use the AI for running at an old age home as an example. It won't work because who's going to run there, Anyway, vehicle side itself, vehicle detection, non-motorized vehicles. So that's like bicycles, scooters, hoverboards, etc. So nice little AI. So there's different categories that we can make use of. Moving forward, we need to understand also, as I mentioned, those different layers of those type of securities. So in the first layer itself, focusing on the motion 2.0, that's smart 2.0, focusing on which direction. It's not just the motion detection, but it's also part of the playback. But then we get into the newer technology that recently we announced and showcased, and now we're skipping that already. But you have the first one is going to be Smart Search. So in Smart Search itself, you focus on the accuracy of what you're looking for as an object or something that went missing in the field of view of a scene. And then you have your AccuSearch itself. In AccuSearch, you're searching for somebody that looks familiar to the object itself or the person that's in that field. I just want to make it a little bit larger here just to show you. I'm going to show you guys just now. Though, here's the person. I've noticed that the person took my bag, but then I can tell with this new deep learning algorithm by saying, where have you seen someone similar to this type of scene or clothing and type of facial features? Then it will give me images wherever it saw it from, when it starts until when it ends, which is just amazing. And then we get into the AccuSeek. AccuSeek is completely different. AccuSeek is where I type in saying I'm looking for someone, an old man with a black t-shirt, not me, with a dog walking in a park. And then I search for that. And as I'm searching, it will show me all the videos where it will show and highlight that. So that is part of the perimeter protection. And later on, I will show that little video just to give you guys I don't know if it's up and coming. I think it is still up and coming. Yes, it is still up and coming. So as I mentioned, for that perimeter protection, there are different levels. Starting off with level 1, using normal AccuSense cameras. Yes, you got about an 80% accuracy itself and about 40 meters of using that detection of VCA. But you are limited to what you can do there. Then you have your level 2, using thermal cameras, but again, 80%, and that's between 40 to 80 meters, right? But again, price-wise in that categories. Then we have category 3, which I really like a lot. It's the AI box itself. In the AI box, where you have 90% accuracy of reducing your false alarms itself. So in that reduce itself, you have multiple different ways that you can make use of it, up to 100 meters itself. The nice thing is, I'll get into the AI box a little bit later on, but there's some wonderful features here. Then we get into the large scale AI cameras. In those large scale AI cameras, again, the technology is built into those cameras using the facility of the cameras itself and not the recorder. Then we have also in radar and PTZs itself. And again, that accuracy in the distances itself where it makes use of. And then we get into the higher level where we use optic fiber itself to be able to notify us by syncing also and linking action with PTZs and cameras, using that facility to tell us where there's somebody on a fence, as an example, or maybe somebody's digging somewhere. So there is a lot of AI, and there's a vast amount of distance from 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers to 50 kilometers. Yes, 50 kilometers. I know. It's just crazy, right? So for that large scale, there's multiple different ways that we can make use of that. So getting into that large scale of the camera sides, let's get into those models itself. So starting off, yes, please take note of this, right? Starting off with our 5 series, right? And I want you guys to hear me out here. The VCA on this, compared to what we've had in the past, is up to 80 meters. Boom! Mind explode. I know. It's crazy. So this isn't the IDA's 5 series models itself, right? So, and this reducing of the false alarms on these AccuSense cameras are built on, right? So reducing all that, still the two-way communication, the live card, so that means the flashing lights are still in there, but not just in the 5 series, also in the 7 series, which is just insane. So now in the 7 series, up to 100 meters, right? So there's a big difference when it comes to this VCA communication. A very focal lens from a 2.8 mm to 12, giving you that large scale, reducing, having a two-way communication with that camera. And then my most favorite camera out of all the cameras this year, which I'm really excited about, is the 7 Series T model. In this model itself, 120 meters of VCA. It's got a triple lens bullet which means it's got a VCA triple lens built into it. And I'll get into more detail regarding that. Flashing light, long distance, low wattage. It's just an insane, amazing camera that has been released, and I'll highlight that. But let's highlight the first one in the 5 series. So in that 5 series itself, you have multiple different things in here. Deep in view X itself is embedded into this camera. It's a 2.8mm lens, 4mm can extend, right? So it depends on what model you go to. Up to 80 meters of VCA. Where's my mouse? 80 meters of VCA. But you also have the normal focal lens itself on there. So you've got that F count 1.0. You've got the small sensor size. I'm trying to look at my mouse. There we go. Small sensor size. You've got the WDR, and this is the new WDR. So if you watch my previous videos, you'll know what I talk about when it comes to the new WDR. And then also the smart hybrid light. Where's my mouse? Two-way audio itself. Designed for harsh environments. It's also got the, where's the mouse? Where's the mouse? The normal IP rating and the IK rating, as well as the NEMA 4 times rating itself. So that's for harsh environments, special coastal areas. But again, recommendation, if you are installing this in the coastal region, my camera just moved, please keep 2 kilometers away from the ocean. It's not sand blasting proof. There's a big difference between corrosion and sand blasting. If you're in Cape Town, you guys know about the wind issue. If you're in Durban, you know about the wind issue. But anyway, coastal region, right? So besides that, obviously focusing on the smart shapes itself, using the Darkfighter technology in there. So Darkfighter 2.0, much larger scale changes. So as I mentioned, during the daytime, up to 80 meters of VCA. Nighttime, yes, it's been reduced. It's nighttime. It's one of those things, 60 meters. So saving your cost. So instead of having 2 AccuSense camera, you have got 1 AccuSense camera, and it does the same thing for you. Then obviously reducing that false alarms itself. That is very important. Up to 90% reduce on this camera itself, saving you a lot more data and resources, meaning that a lot of guys are enabling for just that push notification. And as soon as your push notification goes through, you use a lot more, because a lot more storage, a lot more data, because of the quantity amount of false alarms. Now this will reduce that. So that's in the 5 series. Then 7 series is almost basically the same. The only difference is, however, when it comes to that, is the 80 meters of that VCA itself, helping you during the daytime, and at nighttime 60 meters, reducing that as well. So reducing your false alarms, not just 90%, but 99%, right? Reducing that false alarms. There are multiple different things itself when it comes to this camera. The nice thing is, a lot of guys don't understand the difference between auto iris and P iris. So P iris is focused on a specific iris location, meaning that the iris is set to that location of that environment of that lens. Auto still needs to adjust according to the environment. Every time the scene changes, it changes. This is preset. So preset is that iris lens. It's unique, and it's really amazing, that technology. Let me show you some photos at our offices, thanks to our wonderful teammate Peter for doing all the hard work by showing these type of videos and showing the the expectations. This is the camera itself on a little. It was just mounted on a little tripod thingy on the second floor. You can see the person up to 85 meters away during the day. I know we say 80 meters, but there are some little tweaks there, right? But the distance itself, as you can see, it's amazing. By just having the line crossing the human, the accuracy is way better. So then we get into that large scale AI camera that I really excited about, is the 7 Series T model. In this, please take note that you have 3 cameras in there. Yes, correct, 3 cameras. So the first camera is a 4mm, the second one is a 12mm, and the third one is a 25mm, right? Giving you different areas, This gives you the capability of using that 120 meters of IR using that 120 meters of VCA. So 3 cameras, 3 different channels. You can have each one separate if you wanted to as well. With that, there's a 10 degrees differences between them, so they are overlapping itself. So during the day, 140 meters of VCA, and at nighttime, 120. I mean, for one camera, that's not even thermal, reducing your false alarms by 90%, right? Again, saving you more bandwidth, more data, etc. when it comes to that. Perfect for large scale environments where you can make use of that. Large scale, right? So big shopping centers or big perimeters and etc. It has that special IR built into it to be able to take that distance, right? Nice, colorful image. And not just that, also the two-way audio as well as the flashing lights to alert the person to, keep away, etc. Which is just an amazing, amazing camera, right? But then we get into other features. In those other features is the AI box. So in the AI box is just unique. This AI box is designed to have up to 4 channels, meaning 4 cameras, right? But it all comes down to the resources that you are providing towards the camera. You can use almost any camera, what you would like to. I would still recommend using a Hik-Vision camera. We still recommend you minimum requirement is a 4 megapixel, yet you can use a 2 megapixel. The video is stuttering because of my computer. So when it comes to that 4 megapixel itself, yes, it's great. That gives you the minimum requirement to be able to reduce your false alarms with 99%. So in the event that you do have an old camera or different brand camera by using a 2 megapixel, just take note that that percentage will drop quite a bit, but not that extreme, but it focuses on the scene of that environment. You also have your audio in and out. You have, as an example, your alarm in and out that you can make use of. There's a lot on this AI box that can be used. It's a very, very nice. So if you want more information, like I said, visit our website or go to your, this side, Hik Partner Pro app. Go to your Hik Partner Pro app and you can put in there by the search bar for the AI box and you'll find it. Once you find it, you'll find even more information. It tells you about the storage, the voltage itself that it takes, the temperature environment that it can handle. So it's a brilliant little unit. Just to show you what the AI box can do. If I'm taking this box and I connect it with a camera as example, and I connect the camera, you can see 45 meters at nighttime on a 2.8 mm lens camera, it detects the person doing patrols, which is just amazing, right? Great stuff. But let me go a little bit further. Let me show you what I can detect on the AI box. This is a 3 series camera, 2 series camera. Yeah. So basic camera, which is just great. 120 meters during the daytime on a 4 mm lens. It is a 4 megapixel camera, that I can tell you. It's got the U in there. There's the SL, so meaning it's got two-way audio and it's got the audio. But anyway, enough about that. Detecting the vehicle that far away is amazing. What about at nighttime? Again, same camera, but now at nighttime, again, same scenario. So there's a big difference by using this AI box on certain environments. So maybe your client or your environment has older model cameras that don't have all this fancy technology built in. Then you can make use of the AI box. And like I said, up to 4 cameras can go into it. So for AI box, you'll see there it is. So please speak to your Hik-Vision representative regarding that. Then we get into the next topic, and we're almost at the end, guys. So as I mentioned about the AccuSeek features in these AI box and in the different verticals of this Guanlan for large-scale AI, you have AccuSeek. In AccuSeek, like I mentioned, you type in what you're looking for. So I'm looking for a man wearing a black top that is, maybe he's got sunglasses on or walking a dog. So if I'm searching this, the AI understands what I'm searching and what I'm requiring. So it will give me the surveillance footages according. So this is huge. And I'm going to go to the next page so it can run a little bit, right? Meaning that when I go in there, I search for what I want, guy on a bicycle, maybe somebody with a vacuum cleaner or whatever the situation, suitcase, person smoking and carrying a, what? Suitcase, okay. Luggage, done. So this means for investigation in a control room environment, a suspect environment, you just go and put in whatever they told you they saw, and the cameras will tell you where it has seen it on any of the cameras in that environment. Depends on the equipment that you're obviously using, what type of equipment it is, and if it's one of the latest models. So this is in the Deep in Mind models, the Fusion servers, the new Deep in Mind, as well as the I and V Pro series itself. All right, so there's different models. So just to show you those different verticals. So you can start off obviously with the cameras and stuff like that, but you are limited to what you can do. So my recommendation is please, please, please speak to your Hik-Vision representative. Go to your Hik Partner Pro app. Look at the different equipment and associate with what we can offer in those verticals itself. So starting off with the Pro Series. In the Pro Series, there are different models. As you can see, I'm just trying to get the mouse. There we go. Different models itself. These have the AccuSeek up to 64 channels with AccuSeeks. So great. Then we have the Deep in Mind, Deep in View camera. NVRs. So in those NVRs, they are the I series, which means they are intelligent. There are different models all the way to, and I think the most popular is the 77 series, but depends on the model. But again, the nicest thing about this is this part here. I want to highlight that part. I don't highlight, no, that didn't work. So this means that it supports manual configuration, meaning that when it comes to a scene, it can learn. You can help it to learn according to your scene in your environment, which is unique, right? So the optimization in that environment is the latest technology, meaning that if you have a false alarm and the false alarm was a cat, you can highlight that and tell the system now it was a cat. So maybe it's a specific neighbor's cat, and every single day they see the cat coming past your yard. Then it's going to understand, there's the kitty again. There's the kitty. You can maybe name it as, no, I'm joking there. Don't name the cat. Your neighbor will be upset. But anyway, moving forward into the Fusion server itself. In the Fusion server, there we go, top one, we have up to 128 channels. And again, real-time smart alerts. So this is just the upscale, and as it's growing, moving forward, just letting you know, in the 2 series cameras, please focus on the versions of those models. And they are released already, so the cameras are already available. So this is the 2 series with the smart events that we can make use of in these categories, right? That will be the cameras with the G5 platform or the H13 platform in the scenario. We can also use the 3 series cameras with the smart events. That will be the H version platform, as well as the G3 models that are available. So please, please keep your eye out on those models. Then the Deep in View series itself with that multi-target triggering. Those are these ones down here. So definitely keep your eye out on them, as well as our PTZs. In the PTZs, it will be the DE models, the 4-inch, the 5-inch, the 7-inch, and etc. But any of those DE models in the naming rule, DE, there we go, DE models, it needs to be the H8 platform with this firmware, latest firmware on it, right? If you don't have that, yeah, double check it, right? And then also in the DF, all the ranges that's got that new firmware, you are sorted, right? So that's the camera side. But what about the recording side, right? So in the recording, starting off with the V Pro series itself, so letting you know the max amount of channels, obviously, so they are available as well. Well, some we support, and then some are being released, and then we'll get into that part just now. And then also the Deep in Mind, the M series itself. So not the BMW, not that M, the other M, but M1, M2, M4, M8. So that didn't help me much, did it? But anyway, so, and then the Fusion server as well, like I said, or a normal with normal IP cameras. So these are specific to those cameras or normal IP cameras. So for IVMS, yes, in this category we do support. In diffusion, no. Go Hik Central. In Hik HCP, that's released. There we go. It's been released. Released. And then for Hik Central itself, not as yet. Yes and yes. And then the last category as well. So please keep an eye on that. And then in our behavior, where's the mouse? In our behavior analyst itself, in this analytic of this behavior, there are different categories, right? So the first category, so again, we're climbing that ladder, right? So the next category will be the edge server or the central server, right? We've got two different categories, and I'll explain the categories just now to you. I just want you to take note that there are different cases itself when you can make use of this. So you can make use of either, there's the mouse, gun detection, or maybe hands up. So if you do hands up, it sends a silent signal to your arm response company. As long as you connect and wire it correctly and program it correctly, it will notify the arm response by notifying that there's an armed robbery or something. Trolley detection detects trolleys, and it's kind of funny. I'll show that video as well. If you're wearing a mask, so during COVID we had to, but now people are misusing that by still wearing a mask and doing an armed robbery. Your PPE, from hard hat to safety vest, etc. Your crowd control, falling down, like we said, running, playing on the phone, sleeping on duty. Yes, I'm sorry. AI is going to keep an eye on you to do your day-to-day things. I'm sorry, this is technology, it's changing, but yeah, I'm sure you can understand. So let's break those two verticals itself in a topology to explain to you a little bit different. So on the edge server itself, this is the edge one itself. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. It's supposed to be that way, but anyway, on the edge server, this means that this will be on the site itself, meaning that I'm using Hikvision or third party, or maybe Hikvision NVR. I can use that onto an edge server, right? So that will analyze all this AI on that server. This AI. Let's go back. This AI, right? There are still rules. You have minimum requirement of cameras. You have quantity of cameras. You have certain solutions. So again, you have to speak to your Hikvision representative, whoever that is. Please reach out to them. But letting you know, this is now on the site itself. That will then send the actual real alarms to Hik Central, right? That's the first one. Or you can have the central server, which is based at your office, and then it just pulls in all the information from your sites, whether it's third-party cameras, Hikvision cameras, or maybe Hikvision NVR, right? So it depends on whatever it sees in that environment. So two different categories that you can make use of, right? So letting you know on the edge server itself, in this behavior analytics, there are all these analytics that you can make use of. You are still limited to certain resources. You're still limited to certain hardware. So you need to really plan it out. But I'm telling you now, this is a done deal. We've done this multiple different places. We've tested this. We know that it's working. That's why we're pushing it now very hard, right? There are some teething issues, but again, in those scenarios, if it's gun detection, you must understand that the algorithm is way more advanced than it ever was before with gun detection. And I'll show you just now. Hands up. It's just an amazing feature, right? So for any jewelry shop, we all know what's happening in the country. So just marvelous. Moving forward from that model to the central server itself. In the central server, exactly the same. But that's what I'm just trying to explain to you guys to break it down. But let's break down those different AI features. So gun detection and hands up. It's a wonderful feature. If it goes to the next page, there we go. So as soon as you do hands up, it will send notification. It does gun detection where it notifies that someone is holding a gun or has a gun on them. Obviously, if the camera cannot see the gun, how must it know? It doesn't know, right? So what it sees is what it knows. So this is just to alert. This is not going to prevent an armed robbery. This is not going to stop an armed robbery. It's to notify you that there is something happening that you need to take responsibility or actions at that moment. Different type of firearms that it detects. It's just amazing. That's Peter at the bottom here, running with a gun in our showroom. Thank you, Peter, for the amazing work that you do. I call him Peter Pan because he's from Never Never Land, and he's just the coolest. But anyway, moving forward, gun detection. So it's just amazing how it detects the gun in that alarm. Just wonderful. Moving forward from there, how about crowd control and crowd environments and running? Move, PPT. Next slide. There we go. So starting off with obviously somebody running or falling down. Where's my mouse? There we go. Somebody falling down. That was just funny. Let's just look at that. That's classic. Okay. Anyhow, maybe somebody's running down the passage area, notifying again. What else is there? A group of people. And then obviously different ways. Maybe somebody's busy fighting, getting that alarm or that alert. There's somebody's running. There we go. Picked up. All right. And then crowd is this one here. Multiple people gathering. Is it going to play? Just give it a second. I want to see it as well. It looks pretty cool. There we go. People in that area. Obviously, it's masked because of privacy, you know. I don't know. Is that a bottle store? It's a jewelry shop. So, yeah. Okay. Notifying you. Amazing. And then obviously the fighting. So moving forward from there, different ways that we can either use. Maybe somebody's not, and again, that's Peter. Peter does so much for us. When it comes to that itself, you can see that the person has left his desk. Then an alarm will go off saying that he's off duty. Maybe the person is sleeping. Maybe the person is, I don't know, smoking or on their phone. See, they're using their phone. These people visited the showroom. They mightn't recognize themselves in this video. Yeah, pay attention when you go through the showroom, eh? We're not there for free. We are actually, but I'm just saying. Moving forward, I'm going to get in trouble. Maybe somebody's smoking when they're not allowed to be smoking in a specific area. Maybe somebody has taken off their hard hat or not wearing you're not allowed to do that, or not wearing their safety jacket. So there's quite a lot in the scene of environments. Trolley detection. It detects trolleys leaving a specific area. Maybe, and this is a real thing in our country, it's a country issue. People pack their trolleys at some of our big retail places and walk out the entrance area. You can't do that. You must pay for your stuff. But anyway, this is South Africa. Everyone wants everything for free. Mask detection. So notice that people are wearing a mask, alerting. This can have two different categories, sending you an alarm notification or also notifying you that something's about to go wrong, right? So these different categories. Thank you, Peter. See, that's Peter at our office area for doing that. Peter Pan is just the best. See, pretty cool, right? Even with a shirt. That's just amazing. All right, moving forward. So promotion-wise, letting you know that in the promotion, estimated price of these type of equipment and these things that you want, definitely have a look. There's a massive discount. Also, speak to your Hik-Vision representative and ask them for a smart try on this. If you're watching this a year from now, it doesn't exist anymore. If you're watching it now in 2025, we're almost in the 7th month, but in the 6th, 7th month, please focus on the smart try. Definitely with June, July, August, September, maybe the smart try will still be running. So definitely have a look at this. It's worth it. You can get a big discount and keep your eye on that. So that is the Guanlan, the new large-scale AI. I hope that you guys had a lot of information. There's a lot more, but I don't have enough time. I'm out of my time period itself. I'm going to hand over now to Jade, and she's going to share the QR code for you guys to check in. And I don't know if she's going to be asking a question. Jade, all up to you. I'm going to stop the recording.